Okay. Okay, folks. So we will call to order the October meeting of Kingston Police Service Board. So as the vice chair, one of my responsibilities will be to conduct an election of our new chair to replace former chair Jared Stearns. So at this point, I will ask for any nominations from the floor. That's a Rich. I nominate Gail. Okay, so Gail moved by Councillor Rich, seconded by Board Member Coven. Okay, are there any other nominations? Okay, Gail, do you accept the nomination? Very happy that you do. I would be nervous if you didn't. That's great. Thank you. Okay, are there any other nominations? Okay, so I'm going to ask then for a motion to close nominations. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Adam, seconded by Councillor Ridge. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed? And nominations are officially closed. And with that, Gail, congratulations. Chair Macalester, as I shall now refer to you as. Thank you for being willing to serve as chair, and I will turn the rest of the meeting over to you, Brian.
I appreciate it. Can you hear okay? I would like to take a moment, call the meeting to order with the presentations and briefings. Are there any? Seeing none. May I ask for a disclosure of the conflict of interest for members? Seeing none. I'll ask to move to the approval of the agenda with the addition of the one item under new business. May I have a mover? Seconder? Adam? Brett? All in favor? Have an adoption of the minutes. May I have a mover?
Over on the side.
Brian and Adam. That the minutes of the meeting October meeting number 2511 held on September 25th, 2025 be adopted. All in favor? Communications. Communications from the Association of Police Service Boards and the Inspectorate of Policing. May I have a mover and a seconder to see? And Brian and Christian, thank you. We have the OAPSB quarterly newsletter, and we also have the OAPSB Zone 2 meeting minutes and the OSP October update. And from the Inspectorate of Policing, we've received the Inspector General Memo number 7, the release of the Inspectorate Policing's risk-based compliance and enforcement framework. Any comments, questions? I'm going to ask the question. All in favor? Delegations today. So we'll move to the information reports. May I have a mover and a seconder? Thank you. I'll ask the deputy if you like to speak to any of the reports that we have. We have the statistical report, the workplace demographics report, and the request made pursuant to Section 19 of Community Policing.
Thanks, Chair, and congratulations on your appointments. I think our service is in good hands with you at the helm. Just really quickly, I'll go over the report number 25-67 on our statistical report for the third quarter. Again, that's July to September, and generally speaking. Just some really quick points to point out that when we do a quick scan of it, our overall calls for service are very much in line with year over year, just shy of that 13,000 mark. And with the sample size, the difference there is not significant to draw much attention to. There's a number of other areas where we have increases of calls or increases of instances such as drug offenses, traffic offenses of criminal code, sex offenses, assaults, and break and enters. But when we look at them, they're not significantly higher due to the sample size. If we put them as a percentage, we would see them but when we look at the rather small sample size, they don't cause us concern, but we are paying attention to them. Some decreases in the areas of robbery, other criminal code thefts, and mischiefs, just to point out. But when we look down further in the report, we look at our use of force reports. And I know it's a quick snapshot here, but just a reminder to the board, our tactical team is permitted to issue a team report. And we often see that. And then if a member of that team uses individual force, then we'd have an individual report. Same as if we had a call where we had multiple officers attend a call, we could have 4 or 5 officers submitting a use of force report for one incident. So the number of reports, we really should always look at the number of instances as well as the number of officers attending and things like that. As the board knows, those are reviewed by our training department and our use of force analyst, who then puts those reports to the ministry, and it gets uploaded to the provincial data, as well as it really does drive a lot of our framework training types of scenarios that happen in our city, and we try to mold a lot of our scenario-based training out of similar occurrences that we faced in our jurisdiction. Pending any calls on the stats, I can move on to the next report.
Thank you.
So the next report is report number 25-68, and as this board knows, it's brought before you to be in line with the PSB motion that was brought forward at the Police Services Board meeting. We do have many areas of the report that are captured and are in alignment with the motion, and we've identified some areas that we don't have all of the information, or maybe the information that the board may be looking for if there's an area. But what I will do is, this data was brought forward by a number of our staff, and I know we have our senior team here, and we have our association, and this report has my name on the top, but it really was put together collectively by a lot of the staff here to pull this data. And as you know, Stats Canada has a lot of this information already on our police service as well. I thought I could invite our HR director, Tracy Ringles, forward, and maybe she give us at a high level.
Thank you very much. You will see that the data that we've collected in Appendix A, it is not, it's really only limited data, specifically gender and whether members are sworn or civilian. We do not track data currently on race, ethnicity, Indigenous identity, disability, or other equity-related factors, which limits our ability to fully assess the representation, equity, and inclusion across our organization. So we are missing the importance of a DEI framework, in my opinion. We are not looking currently at the diversity, equity, or inclusion, which addresses our organizational culture, in addition to the representation of our staff. And I think we're committed to looking at this data. However, in order for us to gather and make changes and put suggestions forward, I think we're going to need to look at more comprehensive data. And for us to do that, I think we need to put some thought to perhaps looking at a comprehensive survey for our staff, which would include anonymity and confidentiality and be done outside the organization, not a survey monkey, but utilizing an organization that can conduct this survey for us so that staff feel comfortable bringing forward. It would have to be a voluntary, have inclusive language, respectful tone, and a purpose. And that would show process to build trust and signals that we're going to use this constructively to move forward and to build on our goals and objectives. I have put forward in the report to the deputy the financial considerations of such a survey, but as it stands right now, we are very limited on what we can bring forward to the board.
Just remove this chair hat and put on the diversity. Plan Committee. I just want to say thank you for doing this. This was, I think, even though it's identified gaps, I think that that's really important to move forward in gathering that information. So I'm really appreciating this. And I also appreciate the fact that you serve on that Diversity Plan Committee as well. So we'll have more discussion in the committee. So, and this report has been asked to be forwarded to the committee for its first meeting next week. So thank you very much. Your time is well appreciated. Deputy Keith.
Yeah, just one other comment, and I just say I think from an organization perspective, we're keen to receive that diversity plan from the board. I really do feel like that is a good piece of framework similar to our strategic plan, and will give us some strong direction from a board perspective on where we navigate this. And you know, we've had lots of internal discussion, diversity dinners, and had hiring booths set up, and we've got we had a presentation from 30 Forward, and I know we've had a lot of discussions here about 30 by 30, the American model, much before that presentation. So there is things that are going on, and I just think the diversity plan that the board establishes and the direction that that plan gives will really help guide where we put our energy, because similar to a strategic plan, it really is our roadmap. And so we're excited to see that work come out of the board as well.
Thank you. And I think that you can anticipate that we are looking to meet the CSPA recommendation as we move forward with hiring, that the service eventually can look or resemble the demographics of our city. So that's what the CSPA sets out for us. But of course, that's always limited and constrained by the number of hires we have and so on. But I think the fact that we're trying to keep this at the forefront of our recruitment plan is terrific. But we also need to think about the other aspects in relation to hiring, and that is the culture and the organization itself, and what happens when people get. I think that that's the most important thing, and links directly with the strategic objectives of the service and the board, but it also is not an upfront issue only, that it's a strategic plan that would be hopefully embedded in a number of different areas. And we hope to see this come out in our plan that comes from the committee to the board hopefully in January, February. Thank you very much. Any other comments? Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Tracy. The final report, Deputy.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And just like I said before, I'll just circle back to the previous report. A lot of our staff in this room and not in this room had major impacts in that. So thanks, and for the inspectors here and the civilian directors, please pass that on to your to pull data that we don't have readily available. This doesn't just happen. The last report is 25-69, which is our Section 19 request under the Community Safety and Policing Act, which is our request for assistance. As this board is aware, you'll see 14 requests for outside support. That number appears to be a little bit higher than we see in the past. It's that time of year where we've had our police partners support us for homecoming, and that's what those temporary assistance requests are from.
That concludes the information reports. There's no other questions. Favor? Or item 10 is the recommendation reports, and we have report number 2559 and information sharing policy. And if I could have a second. Questions regarding the report? Seeing none, the recommendation is that the Kingston Police Service Board adopt the reporting and information sharing policy as presented in 559, and that the board authorizes the chair and board administrator to work with the appropriate staff of the City of Kingston to finalize and execute the information sharing protocol in accordance with Section 41 of the Community Safety and Policing Act 2019. For I always assume that if there's any abstentions or opposed, please feel free to speak up with that as well. Report B is report number 2566, amendment to bylaw 2441, being a bylaw to establish the board's hiring committee. Seconder to bring the report on. Report number, in this case, we've actually asked with, if I may speak to, unless somebody else would wish to, as the chair of the hiring committee. We've asked that Jared Stearns be appointed as a civilian representative. As Chair Stearns has participated in a number of senior hiring committees that we've had during his tenure as chair, and we'd be grateful to have his feedback and historical perspective when we look forward at the candidates that we are looking at for this chief's hire. So we're asking that, so that the motion is, so does anybody have any questions about that? So the motion is that the Kingston Police Service Board approve an amendment to bylaw 2401, being a bylaw to establish the board's hiring committee as amended, add a community member to the composition, and that the Kingston Police Service Board appoint Jared Stearns as the community member of the hiring committee, effective immediately for the duration of the ongoing chief. Carried. Don't have any motions other than under new business. So training for the board chair, board of directors certificate, legal and ethical governance. May I have a mover and seconder, please? Right. Proposed motion is that the Kingston Police Service Board approve the registration and enrollment of the newly appointed chair to the Board of Directors Certificate, Legal and Ethical Governance Program offered by the University of Ottawa Faculty of Law. And if I did send out an email to members regarding this program, it's a new program put on by the faculty at Ottawa. And it's got a cross section of individuals across the country who want to delve deeper into board governance and specifically chairing boards. And there are 8 modules, 7 mandatory modules. There's an exam for each module. On completion of it, you have up to 2 years to complete it. It's approximately 35 hours plus a mock board presentation at the end to a group of professionals. And then there's a certification that comes in. So I did a video presentation yesterday with the Faculty of Law, and excellent program. And again, it leads to, for us as a board, hopefully to bring us again in step and in tune with what other country. So does anybody have any questions? Then I'll ask the question. Is there any other new business that members would like to bring forward? Being none, may I have a move?
You're gonna get every one of them. You're gonna be in every vote.
Sit in front of the chair.
So we have a mover and seconder that the motion that the board move to discuss the matters relating to litigation, labor relations, security and property of the board, and personnel matters about identifiable individuals. And any objections? If not, I'll ask the question. Are we in favor to move the camera? Okay. Carried. Public meeting ended at 12:26.